Oh. Oh my god. Alright, well, I'm here. My camera's not. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, Team Worm. I do, in fact, live. Let's restart the camera hub. So I went to start the stream, and I got a generalized error. And OBS was like, I don't know, man. Are you using other recording software? Don't do that. Also, maybe update your graphics drivers. Which I did. What the hell, camera hub? All right, time to unplug it and plug it back in. It's you, all right. Unplug, replug. Give the camera a second. So yeah, apparently updating my graphics drivers did actually help. I don't know why. There wasn't a problem Friday. There's a problem today. Am I just not gonna have a face cam today? Camera hub? Why you in the work? I guess we could restart camera hub. Quit camera hub. Yes, yes. I'm so square with one eye, yeah. At least I'm a rounded, well, not actually a square, I'm a rectangle. I'm a rounded rectangle with one eye at the moment. You go, be not here. Be not on my main monitor. Oh, for a second. Okay, cool. All right, we're alive. Great. Wow, had to restart the hardware and the software. Okay, are we good? Great. Okay, sweet. All right, so what have I been doing? I made what did I make? I made some new tiles because we needed tiles last time. I needed multiple tiles. I needed a transition from grass to sand. And I needed, let's just open them up and look at them. Okay. So I needed these guys, these like walls, but without any stuff around them. Oh no, I missed a tiny speck of water. Oh, okay. So I remade this one, and then down here, this guy. So that's good. Now we can use these when they're around water or when they're not around water, was the idea. And then what else? Oh, I made some lighter colored, some sand next to lighter colored water. And then same with this transition. This goes from like lighter colored water to beach around it for certain spots. And then I did this. This is still kind of a work in progress. I flipped where the sand was. The sand used to be in the middle. Now the sand's on the outside. So we can use this to like have a beach and have little patches of grass in the beach. I have a small bit of camera frame in the upper part of the camera circle. Actually, it's the mute. It's just the rest of my room. But you know, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. My office is kind of a mess because I'm in the middle of I got a new desk. Gotta do, actually, just, yeah, there's a desk over there. It's, camera did not want to go that far. Oh no. I have ruined my mounting system. Oh my god. That was a mistake. Oh my god, bro. You just don't want to stay? It's like clamped to the top of my desk, and then it just decided it doesn't want to be clamped anymore. Oh my god. Oh boy. This was a serious tactical mistake on my part. All right, that's good enough. Anyway, I got a cool sit-stand desk, and then realizing where I want the desk to be means I have to take like everything out of my office. It's pretty brutal. It has been way more work than I expected it to be, but I'm excited to have a desk I can stand at instead of sitting. It will be itching your brain for a reminder of it. Do you mean for the remainder of the stream? Be itching your brain for a reminder of a stream. We have to endure. We do indeed have to endure. We'll be fine. Look, it's good enough. It's good enough. The camera's fine. You can see me. It's all fine. It's fine. Anyway, back to the tiles. So I made a tile that I just quickly flipped the sand texture and the grass textures. So now I can have little pockets of grass inside on beaches. And then right, this was me figuring out the transition. Hey, Crazy Pants. Nice job on the tile set. It's rad. Oh, thank you. Hi, Timur. Thanks, Dirk Lover. I basically just like color shifted tiles that already existed. I tried to make them look okay. And so then this one is for sand that then transitions into shallow water. And then I realized I needed to make like a transition into deeper water. So I did that. And then I was thinking, okay, if you have sand that very quickly transitions to deep water, I need like a version for that. Because of the way the tiles line up. Like this is all one tile where it has a little bit of beach and then some shallow water and then deep water. The deep water begins. Whereas up here, it's like one tile is beach and shallow water, and then another tile is just shallow water, and then another tile is... Oh, actually, no, I think it's... Yeah, it's just... Is it 2 tiles? I don't know. It's really hard to tell here. I should have opened it in Aseprite or something, but I'm pretty sure it's like one tile is deep to shallow, and then over here it's shallow to beach. Whereas down here, it's deep, shallow, beach, all in one tile. All right. So anyway, I made those. We'll get to work using those. But then I keep going around in my head thinking about what I need on the map to try and figure out what I should be spending my time doing. So today I just want to make like a quick little flowchart thing. So I can figure out all the things that I need for each different aspect of the game. And need to try and figure out how to divide those things up again. So first I'm going to go with the parts of the game that we've talked about, which is like exploring, combat, quests. Probably conversation should be its own thing. And then crafting, and crafting includes like smithing, alchemy, and just like regular old crafting, not special crafting. And then exploring will involve puzzles and looking for items. I will add to these in a bit. But so the main thing I want to think about is like what does the world map need? That is the main thing I want to get everything organized for. Oh shit, Dirk Lover, I forgot about that. Dang it, you are probably right. You believe Paint doesn't allow to edit text after? Yes, it absolutely does not. Dang it. Okay. I will... Oh my god, it's like exactly what I need. Oh my god. Oh. You know what? We'll do this next time. I promise I will get this set up for next time. This is here, let me bring it up in Firefox so I can show her off. Where are you, Firefox? There we go. No. Don't pop up. This kind of shit. Yes, this is absolutely what I need. I don't know how to use it right now though. And I don't want to sign up for a thing midstream. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll just get a flowchart for the world map going. And then Miro's great. Damn it, Crazy Pants. Why didn't you tell me that ahead of time? I didn't know. Actually, no, we've definitely talked about it. I have a note about learning to use Miro in one of my documents. Ow. Ow. I have an eyelash or something stabbing me. Okay, now we're good. All right, so this'll do for now. So I need to think of all the things that the world map needs. So first of all, it just needs like set dressing, objects that just look like, I don't know, objects that make an area look like a beach or a forest. But I need to consider destructibility for them. And I think I want to do what Elden Ring does, where certain objects are destructible, but not by you. There are objects you, the player, can destroy that enemies can also destroy, but there are objects that only enemies can destroy, like big bosses can destroy gravestones, and as far as I can tell, you as a player can't. It's not your responsibility to make me do my homework. Yeah. It'd be nice, though. You'll remind me after the stream, and if you forget, it's... If I forget, no. If you forget, it's on you. There we go. Oh my god. Oof. No, Dirk Lover, it's fine. I will leave. Actually, you know what? Let's just... I'll just download it right now. Crap, I have to sign up. I could just sign in with Google. Sure, fine. I can receive news and updates. Fine, I don't care. Great. I'll agree to your terms of service, Miro. How bad could they be? How bad could they be? Yeah, Crazy Pants. I don't think we talked about it a whole lot. I think Dirk Lover mentioned it. And Dirk Lover is usually right about these kinds of things. And I wrote a note down that was like, yeah. Oh my god, it wants to know like what's my executive role? What position are you on your team? I don't fucking, it doesn't matter. Oh cool, it's all just like web page stuff. You don't actually download it. Holy shit. Okay. All right. I'll figure it out. Sign in with Google is one of the greatest friction reducers ever invented. Yeah, it is very cool. And it's nice that you can do it with all sorts of other things too. Like, I don't like Facebook, but that you can sign in with Facebook and God, what else? Like your Apple account. It's very nice to be able to use one security infrastructure system thing to just make usernames for other shit. Pretty sweet. Crazy Pants, you're saying my executive role should be producer. Ugh. There is no executive role. There's just me, you know? That's fine. Fine. Okay, so we need objects for set dressing, but then I also need puzzle objects, which need to be... You need to be able to interact with them. Some would need to be destructible. One thing I didn't fully finish commenting on is that the like semi-destructibility of the set dressing stuff is important because I want you to be in combat able to fight like large creatures and they can destroy stuff. You can't destroy. Because if you could just destroy everything, then like I can't like tease you with like, oh, you see an item, but it's like blocked by these trees. Like you'll just destroy the trees instead of trying to figure out your way around to find the items. And so then, yeah, we need puzzle objects for sure. I have a few ideas for puzzles that'll be kind of fun to do on the beach. And then we need to think about the fact that they need to be interactable. You need to be able to interact with them, maybe lift things, push things, activate things. And then some of them will be destructible. I definitely like the idea of, oh my god, the Korok seeds in Zelda. It's fun to see things out of place, and you either you fix the thing that's out of place, and then get a small reward. So maybe that could lead into things being destructible or interactable. You need to move a rock to match all the other rocks, or you need to like destroy something so that there is symmetry in the area. But yeah, Dirk Lover, definitely. I want. There's a part of Elden Ring where a bunch of messages claim you can use a big guy to break something that I can't break. I can't get him to break it, but the idea of that is very cool. To try and like lure a big creature over to a spot and get it to attack and break something you can't break. That is a fun idea. So I will be open to having that be an alternate way to get an item. And in some cases, the only way to get an item. And then the other thing that we need are going to be enemies. And this is the thing that made me realize I need to do this, because I need to... there's a bunch of things that are like interrelated. So there's going to be like NPC like trainers, like people who want to battle you. But then there's also going to be wild symbiotes. And an important aspect of this game, if I fail at all else, I want a realistic world with turn-based combat. Damn it. Didn't close the parenthesis. So with the wild symbiotes, they need like stuff. They need like they need food. They need like a nesting area. Maybe a place to go to the bathroom, but I feel like we'll just handle that in the nesting. Behavior. I do also need to program their behaviors, but I guess that's why I'm thinking that I need to do this as I go through sections of the map and start adding in like trees and logs and rocks and little hills to climb down and walls to stop you. Ooh, life cycle clues. That's cool. Like if there's a snake is like shed skin. What else? Ooh, okay. Some life cycle clues would be gross. Like owls eat rodents, and then instead of like fully digesting them and like pooping them out, they throw up the fucking rodent after they've digested it a bit. It's called an owl pellet. I got to dissect one. Yeah, owl pellets. Yep. Yeah. Everybody fucking knows. It's like I wonder what percentage of developed countries have their kids dissect one, because it is super interesting. But it's also gross as hell, you know. I don't know if like third grade me was ready to handle that. But I guess I did okay. I'm still here. I don't think about it that often. Not in a gross way. Usually it's just like not in a traumatic way. It's certainly gross. It's certainly gross, but it is also interesting. Okay, what the hell else? You only ever dissected a frog. I did that in high school. That was... I did not like that. That felt way too much like the owl pellet was like, okay, the owl already ate this thing. It's already dead. The frog felt very much like this frog could just be alive hanging out. I don't need to like cut it open and like, oh, look, you got eggs. There's eggs in yours. Wow, that's interesting. Like, no, it's not. Fuck off. I don't want to cut open an animal. You recently saw a video claiming to have captured the largest one ever. Oh no. Oh god, of course people would make it into a dick measuring contest. Imagine a stone owl Pokemon who eats lumber, makes coal pellets, and sometimes they compress it so much it becomes diamonds. Oh my god. Dirt Lover, that's fun. That's the kind of shit I'm after. Okay, they just claim to have captured an owl, like on film, throwing up the largest one. They didn't get it and then go like put it on a scale and weigh it, and then demand their record from Guinness sham book of world records. Oh, they did. Okay, they did both. All right. Damn, Teamworm, you dissected a frog in 6th grade? I could not handle that, I don't think. Holy shit. That's too early. That's too early to be cutting open a creature. Okay, so we're gonna put life cycle stuff. And I'm gonna put shed skin. Ooh, also like tracks. Maybe like they'll make little tracks. Trarks. All right, okay. Let's just extend this out all the way. What the hell else? What other things in the world would they need? Like birds are good, I guess. They'll like rest in trees. But I guess that kind of goes with like nesting / resting. I don't know. Do I want to have skeletons? I don't think so. I think we want to keep it. We want to go for like realism, but it's got to be like simplified because of how complicated it would be. Like having a bunch of doing the calculations for like having skeletons around seems a little bit like then I gotta make skeletons for all of the symbiotes that I make. We could maybe have little like bone piles or something. We could have like a spot where yeah, I guess PG-13 is a good idea. But not only like, because I think skeletons could be PG-13, but it's like also we need to keep in mind the workload. Secretions or claw marks? That's interesting. Okay, I think that can be part of like life cycle stuff. Like oh my god, the bears in Elden Ring that are just like mindlessly scratching their claws on the trees for forever. I think there's that one guy in Limgrave that's just always doing it. He just never stops. Well, unless you kill him and don't rest for a long time. Then he gets a break, I guess. And so this is just specifically focused on like objects I would need, because like obviously I'm gonna need to have like habits as well. Like they need to be running around, and if they are gonna leave claw marks on trees, I want to show them doing that. And again, this is gonna be very limited animations. You're gonna like the way that when you have a Pokemon follow you in the earlier generations, they just kind of hop along with you. It's like it's going to be that level of animation. And I will just be using those overworld sprites of Pokemon to like represent creatures in my game. And so like they'll be making a claw mark on a tree by like walking over to a tree and just kind of like shaking at it. And then they'll leave and there'll be a claw mark. Like boom. Fucking that's the level of, yeah, I think it is actually just 2 frames. I think their walking animation, the overworld sprite, it's 2 frames, but then there's like 2 frames walking up, or 2 frames walking back, or 2 frames walking left or right. So really it's like 8, but yeah, it is very few actual frames. Yeah, I feel like this is most of it. Like animals need to eat, and then they need to like nest. They need to have a safe place to stay and raise a family. And that will probably like maybe you'll see if you go into like a cave you'll see like nest areas, but I feel like a lot of it will be like there'll just be like a little hole in the ground, and like, oh, that's where that leads to a diglet nest, or a hole on the side of the wall that Rattata come in and out of or something. But the reason that I want all this stuff thought out ahead of time is as I go to make the map, it's all going to be important things to keep in mind. I don't want to have to come back and redo things. Because like my primary goal is I want to be able to just like put the character in a spot and like zoom out the map, and then you can just see just shit going on. You can see like Pidgeys hunting Rattata and Rattata running around eating nuts off of the ground. I don't know what Rattata eat. They're mice. They probably eat like grass seeds too. I don't know. I need a minimal prototype. Yeah, I want to get to that as soon as possible. And that's part of the goal of this, is to figure out like, okay, what are the things that I need. We aren't making a AAA game. We're making a quadruple A game. Yeah, we're making like a... Are the number of letters matters? Like there's AA and AAA and now jokingly quadruple A. But could we lower the letter a little bit? Like, I'm not even just making a single A game. I'm making like a B or a C+ is my goal. I want it to be functional. You don't know? Yeah, I don't know either. It's weird that they only use the letter A, and it's just there's more of them or less of them. It's like a weird, like there's already grading systems. Just use a grading system. I guess it feels mean to call indie games like C games. I'm making an E. Yeah, below F, beyond failure. Because it's indie, yeah. But yeah, so I was just thinking, okay, maybe they don't want to like call indie games like Fs or Ds. So like, okay, because of that connotation, the idea is the A is the level of quality, and the number of A's is the volume of that quantity. I don't know. We aren't here for a mark. Well, I'm grading myself for an experience. That is true. So yeah, my goal for this is to get to the like minimal prototype as quickly as possible. Because the thing that I know I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to come up with a way for the game to spawn creatures. And that doesn't seem that hard. I can probably just like have it randomly, like based on an area's size. Like, okay, this is like Route 15 is pretty big, so spawn between 5 and 10 Rattata. And Pidgeys hunt Rattata, there's going to be fewer of them. Spawn like 3 or 4 Pidgeys. And put them in randomized spots, but spots that are okay. Like a Rattata shouldn't be like, I don't know, in the water, in deep water. You should never have a Rattata in deep water. You might have one on the beach, but probably he's going to be like in grass, going between his den and tall grass. Yeah, in fact, actually, for Rattata, I might just spawn them all from their dens, and then they'll come out, and I need like a navigation layer, which I have read some videos about how to actually do. It doesn't seem super complicated for 2D. So we need to have a navigation layer that tells them where they can go. And then we need to have them have some kind of, this I haven't looked up yet. I need to have some kind of like a priority system. Like each Rattata needs to be like, I'm hungry, or I'm tired, or I'm dusty. I want to go wash off. They need to have something that is their like highest priority. The Elder Scrolls Oblivion had a system like this, and it was really cool because it was also informed by characters' personality traits. There was this one lizard in a town that you would like always find them dead, and the reason I have seen claimed multiple times is that they are hungry, but they're also like not willing to spend money or do work to get food. So they would just steal food from people, and then eventually get caught, and people would eventually kill them. Sims have this. Yeah, definitely. I don't think we want to go as complicated as The Sims, right? Because they get like, The Sims have like emotions and shit. I feel like what I need to do is just come up with some kind of like a priority list. And then that priority list needs to change. Each of the priorities needs to change. Like a Rattata is going to want to go into its den at nighttime, even if it's a little bit hungry, right? But if it's the middle of the day and a Rattata's a little bit hungry, he's not going to go back to his den. He's going to be like, I need some fucking food, dude. Also, similarly, if he got covered in like dirt or something, then he would want to go wash off. Like, one of the things I have envisioned is what happens if you interrupt a fight. Like if you, the player, are going through the world and you come across like a Pidgey attacking a Rattata. Like, I feel like odds are they're just going to run. They're both going to be like, oh shit, a third party. This is a problem. Let's just fucking run away. So maybe at that point, a Pidgey had used like Sand Attack on the Rattata. And so then the Rattata runs from the player and from the Pidgey. And then the Rattata's like, oh dude, I'm dusty. Like I need to go like shake off in the water or something. We'll talk about behaviors once we're in the AI section. We need to stay focused. Well, it's important to think about because all of the things, it's like I have to think about the behaviors so I can have the objects for them to enact those behaviors. And so that's the like loop I keep getting stuck in, is like I was going and adding in some objects into the tile, not the tile map, into my game as not a tile map, as objects, so I can destroy them, like trees and logs and stuff. And then I was kind of having trouble figuring out what things I needed to put in. And so I want to get like a list of all the things I need to put in. So yeah, let's keep going. I think this is like most of it though. So like what else is out in the world? Oh, well, so here's kind of an interesting thing. The food that the wild symbiotes would need might also be like crafting materials. Because I want an alchemy system, a smithing system, and a general crafting system. So like there might be herbs that Rattata will eat, and maybe you as the player need to like kill Rattata to keep him from eating your fucking berries. So yeah, we need like material sources. So like herbs, like ore veins, God, even like certain like rocks or crystals. We should say like herbs / maybe just plants. Do plants, because plants would include like herbs, fruit, other things. And then maybe like miscellaneous stuff, like I don't know, there might be for an alchemy recipe you might need shells off of a beach or something. Ooh, thinking about renewable and non-renewable is interesting. Yeah, I think as far as like crafting materials go, I want everything to be renewable, everything that appears on the ground. And if you found a non-renewable resource, it would be like as an item. It would be like like the way that you find certain items in Pokeballs in Pokemon games. That is how you would find a non-renewable. Just for my information, these Mawa cookies are not better in a hot drink. But the internet tells you they shouldn't be this texture, so you think we just got bad ones. Okay, yeah, honestly, that makes sense. That makes sense. What about a key item, Dirk Lover? Like the items that you would pick up that aren't renewable. There will be all types of items that you'll pick up, and it might just be like if you find a non-renewable crafting item, I want it to be like better than what's around, right? So you might be able to go to a beach and find seashells regularly that like slowly respawn. But then one time you might be able to find like a stack of like 10 of them or something. Oh, you're saying like objects. Sure. Okay. So like special items in the world. A teleportation circle. Okay. That's a good example. I don't know. That's a good thing to keep in mind. Okay. I think key items is a good term for it. What other kinds of things? I guess just like maybe even like machinery that you interact with. You could kind of include that with puzzle objects, but my thought for puzzle objects are like not things that you might just interact with, but like a puzzle you're going to solve that has some kind of weird rules you need to figure out in exchange for an item. This might be something you need to do to be able to explore more, like press a button on an elevator or something. So yeah, that's a good thing. Oh, yeah, sure. Call it key objects. That's a good point. Rather than items, since items would be in your inventory. Sure. Yeah, good point with the crafting station. I think I don't need to worry about that yet because I want the crafting stations to be either like part of your camp or in town. Like you're not just gonna have a like an alchemy station that you can whip out of nowhere. But if you make camp, maybe you can break out your potions and bottles and burners and make a little potion on the road. But then for like blacksmithing, like that, you're not gonna have a campsite with a blacksmithing setup. We'll have those as objects and sprites. Yeah, I think so essentially the way that from what I've read, the way that Godot allows you to interact with things, basically you can like make sprites that you interact with and they're just a sprite. You don't have to go through the trouble of making something an actual object unless you want to like move it or destroy it or change it in some way. So then something like a blacksmith shop or like a forge that the blacksmith lets you use in a city, that can just be a sprite as part of the tile map. And you just like, you can tell the tile map how the player can interact with it. In this case, they can't walk on it. And then also that if they press like the interact button and they're right in front of this specific tile, that can send out a command that would bring up the menu to be like, hey, you're in front of the forge. You want to make something? You can throw a simple interaction function on a sprite. Yeah, exactly. And that makes it more memory efficient. It makes it faster to load and like gives you better performance. But if you want to actually go about like destroying or moving things, then you want it to be an actual object that's sitting on top of the tile map rather than part of the tile map. Yeah, it's really cool the way that Godot functions. So many things about it are cool. It's like 99% of the problems I've had, someone else has had, and Godot has made it seamlessly streamlined to solve the problem. It's fucking cool. Okay, this could be everything. Because the biggest thing that I want to get to is having like a little area where I can launch the game and then like have Rattata appear coming out of their little dens, going to get some food. Maybe they roughhouse. They probably play. So that I want to think about that stuff too. Okay, so these are the things the world map needs. And then, you know what, let's just open... What can we do here? Let me save this. Let's see. What are you? You're like the 6th thing that I've saved for this. Okay. Oh no, just the 5th. All right. And so then we're gonna go the new thing. And what do we want? We want like, say symbiote. Like symbiote interactions. All the things I want them to do. Not make all the work if you don't have what you actually have to do, but you don't know what to do until you actually face the challenge. Yeah, it's I know I'm gonna miss some stuff. It's gonna be an annoying process of going back and forth, but I want to at least do a pass of thinking about it like this, so that I can I want to like get all of the objects that I need, and then like I think what I'm gonna do is make a tiny little I'm gonna make like a tiny little island, and the player's gonna start on it, and then I'm going to like spawn Rattata, have them walk out and find food. Then I'm gonna add in the next behavior, which is gonna be like, I don't know, they'll play with each other. They'll like roughhouse. After they roughhouse, they'll go like shower off. They'll go like find puddles to like roll around in to clean up. They'll go back and eat more. Anyway, yeah, you know. So we got to get there. But yeah, it is definitely going to be iterative. Okay, so I think we need to think about... And actually, you know what? Hold on. Let's call this like... Maybe just symbiote actions. Because these are the actions I want them to take. It might be actions where they interact with the world. It might be actions where they interact with each other. I think that's about it. You can either interact with the world or each other, or the player. Sure. But then there's like in a food chain, there's like three different situations going on, right? Because I guess a weird thing to think about is the way that the Pokemon world is oh sure, they might interact with themselves as well. That's a good point. Yeah, like cats like clean themselves. So do birds. For birds, it's called preening, when they like clean all the bullshit out of their feathers. That's a good point. Symbionts aren't beasts. Well, I mean, they're kind of. They might not need any sustenance. No, they do. I want that part of it. I want to be like, that's something I've always wanted from Pokemon, is to feel like they're part of a living world. Some of them might not. Well, okay, sure. There could be something like I would say they still need some kind of sustenance, right? Like, yeah, sure. Sunlight. Sunlight's a good example. And that was what I was getting at with adding these three categories, is that they're gonna do wildly different things. Like essentially, like a carnivore, like they all need to have nests or dens where they go and sleep and live, raise their babies, whatever. but then they also will have different ways of getting the like required sustenance. Like a carnivore is just going to hunt herbivores and producers. A producer, I guess, is just going to like look for nice sunlight. Like it's weird to think about a plant that can walk around, like a Bulbasaur or like a Bellsprout. Like most plants, they shift and follow the sun throughout the day. But like a Bulbasaur can like walk around. He could just go somewhere new. So they'll move to find sun. Actually, yeah, so maybe I should break this down like food. How do they get food? They use sunlight. Maybe they follow sunlight over the day. So I need to remember that specific thing for producers. Carnivores hunt, herbivores collect, and producers exist. I would describe what the producers do as a kind of collecting. They're just collecting sunlight. And maybe they don't, maybe we'll have like a cool underground cave or something, where they like absorb heat or like chemical energy rather than sunlight. But I think up on the surface, it's going to be mostly that they're going to follow the sunlight. And I guess I need to think about, like, do I want, like, the carnivores are going to hunt both herbivores and producers. Because unlike a normal food chain, we have a really weird situation where in a world with animals that have the ability to do photosynthesis, a carnivore could technically directly eat plants, because like a Bulbasaur is a plant, but he's also meat. So that's weird. So yeah, the carnivores will hunt everyone. But then we have a weird thing to think about where like the herbivores, technically the Pokemon and my universe is a universe where an herbivore can hunt a living thing, which then kind of makes it a carnivore. And yeah, definitely some carnivores will hunt other carnivores. Shoot, there's a term for that. Shoot. I don't know. There's a term for the like very high end of a food chain. The like carnivores that just eat fucking everything, or they hunt other carnivores. So then this is a weird thing to think about, like, would a Rattata just eat plants that aren't other Pokemon? Like if you're a Rattata and you want to eat some grass seeds, you'd probably just go eat grass seeds from a not Pokemon, right? Like if there's a grass Pokemon that has seeds, you probably wouldn't want to eat those because he's gonna fight you. So then I think maybe the way we look at it is like the herbivores, they're not going to eat the producers, but the carnivore is absolutely going to eat both the herbivore and the producer. Apex, yeah, I think it is apex predator is generally the term used. You had a typo, but good call. You got us there. Okay, so then how will herbivores get food? They'll collect it from plants. So that's going to be like grass, trees, bushes. So anywhere that I want herbivores, I need to think immediately about what are they going to eat. You can't just have Rattatas on the beach. You need some grass for them to snack on. They actually have omnivores. That's a good point. Maybe for the purpose of this chart, we just do these three, and then we go with the idea of like dogs are a good example of omnivores. They'll just kind of eat a bit of anything. I can just kind of consider both columns when I'm making a dog. I can be like, okay, what would this dog eat? Maybe he eats some plants, some berries, and he also does what a carnivore does, which is he hunts anything he can find. Producers need raw chemical compounds and an energy source. Oh yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, so like most plants are just rooted into the ground, or in some rare cases, they collect nutrients like directly from the air. But yeah, you're right. They need like building blocks, not just energy. Ooh, shit. How the hell would a Bulbasaur do that? Does he just go like dig himself into the ground somewhere for a little while, then like, I don't know, suck nutrients out of the earth? Okay, that's actually an interesting thing to note. So I'm also going to put that in food. Root down, why not? Yeah, I guess so. Like, they just like fucking stick their feet into the ground and suck shit into themselves. So we'll go with ground. I'm aware there could be minimal exceptions to that. But I think for the most part, we're going to have a lot of like plant-based creatures like a Bulbasaur or a Bellsprout, and they're just going to they'll collect stuff from the ground. Oh, I guess, like Bellsprout really feels like a Pokemon that would do this. Its little tiny feet kind of seem like, you know, it could just like stick its feet into the ground and like extend out some roots for a day or two, collect some nutrients, and then go on its way. Obviously, we're going to ignore the fact that the way that plants work, plants don't really have enough energy to be walking around and battling. But, you know, it's for fun. Ah, Dirk Lover, that's a good point. Bellsprout is a carnivorous plant. I still stand by my statement that it does. If you look at a Bellsprout, you could probably like be convinced if someone told you like, yeah, they just stick their little feet into the ground and they grow roots out of there and they like absorb some nutrients for a day or two. But you're right, it is a carnivorous plant. That was a bad example for that reason. Shoot. Oh well, it gets the idea, right? What other, is there anything else weird that herbivores might eat? Oh shit, I forgot a whole group. Oh my god, we're gonna need, hold on, we gotta zoom out. We gotta expand this. What are they called? What are the things that eat dead things? Like detritivores or something? An animal which feeds on dead organic material. Yes, okay. Okay, so that is an interesting thing to note. No, I don't, nope. Okay, I'll just type it out myself. Cool. Okay, so you're just gonna come hang out over here. You're gonna be like a special thing, like mushrooms and all sorts of like bugs are detritivores. So carnivore, you can have like a little, let's get you a little more space. All right, back at it. Do I really want to split those with carnivores? Yeah, because then like that would be a reason to have skeletons or like dead bodies or like decaying leaves or something. If I want to have like a mushroom kind of like Pokemon creature, a symbiote, then we would probably then have like I don't know, like a bunch of fallen leaves, a bunch of like rich fertilizer. You thought eating dead stuff something that a producer does? I think not quite. I think the idea is that like the detritivores break things down in a nice way so that then producers can get access to those nutrients. Like if there's a dead animal that is left on the dirt somewhere, it's going to take a long time for that dead animal to like reabsorb into the soil and to like provide nutrients to the soil. And it's much faster to have stuff like ants and other creatures come and like break it all down into bits. They take what they can get, but then they just leave the things they can't, and then that dissolves faster. So we could basically make a cycle here. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And that was what made me remember that there's another part of it. So yeah, we'll get to them in a second. We'll focus on this part of the cycle first. So the carnivore is gonna, I think, be like the hardest one for me to enact. I'm just gonna say they hunt herbs and prods. It's the easiest statement, but they're going to have to identify like objects that are moving. So like an herbivore is just going to look for some plants, and the plants aren't going to change that often. I'll have them like new ones will be growing occasionally, but on a daily basis, there's not going to be a whole lot of change for the plants. And so I don't think it'll be that complicated to have to tell an herbivore like, okay, just go find some berries to eat when you're hungry. But for a carnivore, it's like, I've got to tell you to go fucking like hunt something. Like a Pidgey's gonna go like initiate combat with a Rattata in order to like defeat the Rattata and get food. So yeah, Durglover, I don't know about that. I think we'll have some herbivores that eat producers and some that don't. Because like I was saying, I think if you were an herbivore and you could avoid eating a symbiote, you would, right? Like imagine if you're a Rattata and you're hungry and you want to eat some grass seeds, you would probably want to eat grass seeds that don't belong to a symbiote, because otherwise you have to fight for them. Ooh, or they eat the produced matter from a producer. Oh, that's an interesting point. So like a Rattata might go fight like a Bulbasaur to like get the seeds that it produced, not to actually eat it. Oh shit, does that mean you could have like, what if a Rattata like teamed up with like a Growlithe to go kill a Bulbasaur? And the Growlithe eats the Bulbasaur's body and the Rattata eats the seeds. Oh my god. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay. So then let's amend their food thing. So they're going to collect from plants, and that's going to include, actually we'll just add this onto the end. Let's just say like may collect from, just go with Sims. I'm just going to call them Sims with a Y, like short for symbiote. Okay, so maybe they won't, maybe they will. Maybe they will. Teaming up's also an idea to brain. Yeah, oh my god. That is one of my favorite fucking things about tactical RPGs, coming into a fight that's already, like, there's already two sides fighting with each other, and either one being able to decide who to help out, or like coming across two groups fighting and you are already kind of preferential to one side. Ooh, it's also fun when you're not preferential to either side. They both hate you, and so you just like sit there and watch. You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys fuck each other up, and then I'll come clean up the leftovers. But like team up. Producer attacked by an herbivore and a carnivore. Nope. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna just make a note of this in my Google Drive. Where is it? Where are you? There we go. In the wiki. You have a cool stuff section. Oh my god, it's all the way at the bottom. Oh my god. Okay. Great. Noted. What if symbiotes engage in symbiosis and they just amalgamate for a time? Amalgamate. Oh my god. That's a cool idea. So they like turn into something stronger just to get their shared goals done. Oh my god, that's a really cool idea. I think it's too complicated to fucking enact. I'll write that down though. Damn. Damn, that's a cool idea. But then playing Pokemon Infinite Fusion makes it really clear how much work it is to do that. But yeah, I guess if my goal wouldn't necessarily be that they all were fusible, which is the goal in Infinite Fusion, but maybe just a few in certain environments could fuse together. That would be interesting. I would have to have some kind of cool it would have to be more than just looks, right? It would have to be like a fun challenge to fight or capture those kinds of creatures. Like what would happen if a Pidgey, or how about I know if a Growlithe and a Rattata fused together to go hunt a Bulbasaur? What would that mean? It would be like a fusion of a dog and a rat. So like I guess you could take both of their good traits. So like maybe if you run into a Growlithe or Rattata fusion, it would be faster than a normal Growlithe, but more resilient than a Rattata. You'd get like the best of both worlds from them. So I guess yeah, they could just be like a challenge. They're going to be more difficult to defeat. And if they only fuse because they have a common goal in mind, then they've got like the extra resolve of like, we got a thing to complete. A Remora and a shark. Oh damn, I haven't even thought about like water types yet. Oh damn. That would be interesting. Oh my god, this seems so difficult to fucking Steven Universe fusion. Oh my god. I don't even like, how does that even work in Steven Universe? I've seen like 5 episodes of that show. I know it's a thing they do when they fuse together, but do they have the personalities of both of them inside? Like what happens? It's easy to just ignore that kind of problem with like a Growlithe and a Rattata because they're just like wild animals. But if we started fusing people, that would be a little bit crazy. Ooh, that sounds like a fun thing to do for like the evil, the antagonist in the story. Maybe they're doing weird human fusion stuff. Like oh my god, that's a thing in Elden Ring. Kind of. Grafting? At least that's what grafting sounds like. All right, so we have our food for these. So then for the detritivore, I think it is important to think about the fact that their food is like, God. They're not just corpses though. So we'll just say dead plant and animal matter. So earlier I was like, I don't know if I want to have skeletons, but this makes me think that I probably need to have some kind of like some kind of dead remains. So like my okay, so real quick, like really top down view of this whole system, as I mentioned before, but only like briefly. The idea for my universe is it gets at one thing I hate about the Pokemon world, which is that everybody just battles with Pokemon, and like there's not a whole lot of stuff going on about like whether that's messed up. It'd be like if you lived in a world where everybody does dog fighting and nobody questions whether or not that's like horrific and wrong to do for the dogs. And Pokemon gets around it a little bit by being like, no, like they want to fucking do it. Like, look how much these Pokemon love to fight. So I guess that makes it a little bit better. It's still a little bit creepy because, like, can they consent? I don't know. They do barely talk about breeding or farming Pokemon. Yeah, they do hint at things like that, but yeah, obviously it's a kids show, so they're trying to keep it light. A kids show, kids game series, whatever. But what I had sort of envisioned was like, if there is some kind of system, like what is the like Avatar, where like when they die in Avatar, when the blue people die, they become part of like a spirit tree thing. And so it's like not that bad when they die. So then I was thinking of having like, for some reason, which I have a few ideas for, there is like a spirit world. So like if a Pidgey hunts a Rattata and kills that Rattata, the Pidgey like gets some kind of like spirit energy from the Rattata and actually grows stronger. It also gets food by eating the Rattata's body. But then the Rattata like goes and becomes part of the spirit world, and then eventually the Rattata gets to like be born again, but like this time he's a little bit stronger. He gets the like knowledge from his past life where he got wrecked by a Pidgey, and maybe this time he'll come back and be a little bit more tough, a little bit more resilient, a little bit more able to fight against the Pidgey. And my view as to why this would happen is that like there are gods that are trying to create a world that can like protect itself. So their view is like, okay, if our world gets attacked by outsiders, they're going to kill some of the animals in our world, but then those animals are going to come back stronger, more able to deal with them. And then eventually over time, those animals will like overwhelm them and kick them the hell out of our planets, our places of existence. And anybody who exists in these places will know how to deal with these animals, how to like coexist with them. But yeah, I hope you don't put too much strange info in. Now, Dirk Lover, you're good. And you don't put sticks in the wheel. Nah, dude. If I don't like an idea that you have, I will tell you so. If I do like an idea that you have, but I think it's too big to deal with, I'll tell you so. You're not in control. I'm in control, and I'm willing to, like, it's my responsibility. Share whatever ideas you want, dude. Don't even fucking worry. Don't fucking worry about it. So anyway, the whole reason that I want to have this kind of system is that not only does it make it
have fun, don't die.
Oh my God. Thank you, Dirk Lover. The idea for the system is that like it kind of reduces the tragedy of death. Good luck focusing. Honestly, it's kind of fun to be able to make this thing and to just like bounce around from idea to idea. I think it's gonna get really hard when I'm almost done with everything and I only have like one or two problems that I haven't solved yet. But right now it's so it's like my favorite part of writing an essay, when I can just like jump all around and like make my outline. Like that's like the best, like thinking about how I'm gonna structure the ideas and things before I get into like writing it. It's like, ooh, it's so great to just like think about what could be and to have the things need to be in it. And then like, but where do you put them? How exactly do you do it? Oh, it's so good. Oh my God. I'm having a great time. Okay, so we have a system wherein it's not so bad if symbiotes fight each other, because it's part of their whole purpose in life. It helps them get stronger. If they lose or die, they get to come back and will be stronger for it. So the whole idea is that it's just this like beneficial system to make nature and the humans that live in the lands shared by the symbiotes, like to protect them, to protect everybody, to make everybody formidable and powerful. And so it's a little bit less bad. If you see a Pidgey kill a Rattata, you're like, all right, that Rattata's going to be back and he's going to be stronger and maybe he'll kick that Pidgey's ass. Maybe not. Maybe he'll just kick some other Pidgey's ass and then that Pidgey will die and gets to come back stronger. And then we'll all just get stronger and stronger and stronger and it'll be great. It'll be great. But the initial thing that got me off of that was thinking about the fact that you're going to see Rattatas die. You're going to be walking around doing your thing, picking some herbs, mining some ore, and then like, oh damn, a Pidgey just killed a Rattata next to you, and oh well. Imagine Necromancy Resurrection. It grinds the spirit to the bare core. Ooh. Also a good idea for an evil character. Like I like the idea. Essentially what I want the antagonists to be doing in my story is that this system is like, it's like beautiful. Like these gods figured out like how to make death and mortal life not that bad, and even make death valuable in a weird way, because you get to die and come back stronger, and while you're in the spirit world you could still be contacted by your family, and you could be like, yeah, I'm all right, I'll be back to hang out and fucking see you guys again soon. But then of course, because it would involve, like, it would take power to do this, there must be energy coming from somewhere. Of course there are going to be people who will try and abuse this system. So yeah, that's fucking cool. Yeah, like the idea of somebody like using necromancy to like sidestep the system is an interesting idea. So yeah, that's definitely added to the list. I have like 4 or 5 ideas for like evil people and what they'll be up to. And the biggest thing I'm struggling with is how to involve the player character and like the player character's allies is a difficult thing to make really good. Like if you think about the Pokemon story, it's like so boring. It's so fucking boring. It's so boring and unbelievable. Like you're a kid and it's like, okay, it's time to get your first Pokemon and like go collect badges. But like, where are all the other people collecting badges? And then they'll like, it's simple and you have to make it personal. Yeah. I want moments to like feel like, maybe not crying would be appropriate, but like I want to feel like choked up, you know? Like I want more drama from the Pokemon world, and I feel like it's almost there. Like in Gold and Silver, your rival clearly has a bunch of like has a shitty upbringing, and like if they leaned into it and told a little bit more of a story, I could feel bad for him. But they don't tell enough of a story. And I know it is supposed to be simple, but I want like good motivating factors for all of the characters involved. Because I love the way that games like Baldur's Gate, everybody is in it for slightly different reasons, and those reasons might overlap quite a bit. But there will always be individual situations where even though these characters are all together, they all agree they have a goal to accomplish. Something you do might piss off some of them and really please some of the others. So I have 1 or 2 story threads I absolutely know I want. They're not that creative, but they're, I think, a reasonable way to get like characters emotionally involved in a story. And then once they get involved for a personal reason, then they realize like, okay, actually I need to stop these evil people, not just for a personal reason, but for like the good of everything. Whereas some people are like, no, I'm just in it for the personal reasons. Fuck the good of mankind. Fuck saving the earth. I just want my shit taken care of. And then trying to balance those needs and wants in the story is super interesting to me. And I still don't have good enough reasons. So we gotta keep working. Okay, so back to, I think we have the food situation handled for everybody. And clearly we need to have dead animals. And maybe one last thing to think about that's pretty interesting is this system could be like a carnivore defeats an herbivore and then eats what it wants and then leaves. And then you as the player could see the like dead Rattata body, and then you might see a bunch of bugs come over and start like picking up the pieces. And then that could be a way to get bugs to come out. If you want a cool I don't know, some kind of cool like beetle creature that eats dead bodies, then you gotta like wait until a Rattata defeats a Pidgey, or you defeat a Rattata and you leave the dead body and you wait. You just go hide in the grass and you wait. So that's a fucking cool thing that I hadn't thought about. And like I just feel like watching those things happen would be so cool. Even in a world like Pokemon that's so like simple, the like grid-based movement is so simple, the character art is so simple. And it seems like the perfect simple world to try and add a simulation to. A like realistic situation where you see everybody going about their actual lives. Okay, so what was the other thing? Let me open the other paint window. So, right, they need like nesting. Okay, that's interesting for producers. So like what the fuck? Where does a Bulbasaur go at night? Will everyone lay eggs? Oh my god. At first I was like, what? But then remembered that like the Pokemon world is that everything lays eggs. Oh, man, honestly, producers may just split in two. Holy shit. That's a cool idea. What would the gameplay ramifications of that be, though? Like, you'd have a Bulbasaur in your team, and one day he's just like really fucking hungry. Like he doesn't want to fight anymore. He's like, dude, I need to be in the dirt all day, and I need to be getting bright sunlight all fucking day. And like he's just in a terrible mood unless you do that for him. And then he like grows bigger and bigger and bigger and then splits into two of him. Damn. That's an interesting idea. That almost seems too powerful. So maybe, because like, holy shit. Okay, so like imagine, you're playing like a Pokemon game where you get your Pokemon to level 20 and then 30 and then 40. Imagine if you have like a level 60 Venusaur and it splits into two level 60 Venusaurs. That's like too good, right? Evolving would be interesting. But I think that should be separate from the idea of whether or not they split. Or they need a special item to do so? I think for sure they would need like special attention. Like instead of fighting all day in your party, they might be like, hey, I need to, like, if you want me to turn into two guys, I need to like be back at camp just growing. Like the way that like a pregnant lady needs to just like chill out. She can't do like all the activities of a busy human being. Splitting into two younger versions is interesting. That I also feel like would be annoying. Because I'm trying to think about it from the player's point of view, from a like remove all the theme and the like realism about how it would work in the world, and think about what the results are for a player. Having a level 60 Pokemon that turns into two level 60 Pokemon is too good. Having a level 60 that turns into two level 30s would be annoying. And yeah, I definitely agree. It should be intentional. It should be something just like evolving you have to let happen. And maybe even more intentional than evolution. You have to actually like go through the trouble of it. And yeah, that would be cool if you could add items in that would change what they transformed into potentially. But I almost feel like what it should be is if you have a level 60 Venusaur that wants to like split off, maybe it makes a level 30 one. Or like it makes like a level 30 Bulbasaur or something. Because then if you had plants who you could evolve in different ways, it would be nice to have a source to like let's say you have a Venusaur and you really like its values. It's like, oh my god, IVs? Yeah, IVs. Then you could give it the resources it needs to split off, and it would make like a little level 30 Bulbasaur. And then that Bulbasaur would have very similar IVs. So maybe not exactly the same, but still quite good, still in the close to what you would want. And then maybe you could evolve it up through a different process to get something else, like the way that you can turn an Eevee into an Umbreon, and then maybe this Eevee that you get, you turn into a Flareon. So I kind of like the idea of if they split that way, you get a lower level one. That is a cool idea. That's another thing to add, and that's something that I think we could incorporate pretty easily. Let's say like a level 60 Venusaur makes a level 30 Bulbasaur. Okay, that's a cool idea. And actually, yeah, Dirglover, that's a good point. Have it like split the make the new level determined by experience because of the way that EXP is scaling. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, okay. Let's just put half of the EXP. So it won't actually be level 30 because really halfway between level 1 and level 60 is going to be a little higher. Right, it would be like level 40 or something because the last 20 levels would take much more EXP than the first 40 or something like that. Cool. Okay. That's a cool idea. Damn. All right. That was a great tangent. Now back to the actual question. What the fuck would a Bulbasaur do at night? I guess it would have a den, right? Like plants are only outside at night because they can't move. If it was cold or windy or raining, they might want to just, go into a cave or something. Oh my god, actually, that's kind of creepy to imagine. Like, you're like walking into a cave and you turn a corner and there's just like dozens of fucking Bulbasaurs with their little flower. I guess Ivysaur would be a better example. Like an Ivysaur with all their flowers like closed up. And maybe for a second you're like, oh, it's just a bunch of Bulbasaur. And then you're like, well, hold on, those are really big Bulbasaurs. Oh shit, okay, actually those are Ivysaurs. Oh shit, and they're like level 30 and I'm like level 20. But yeah, they would do something. They would hide in some way. So like, yeah, crawling under a rock is an interesting idea. Like if there are no caves nearby, they might seek some kind of shelter. Especially if it was like snowing or something. They wouldn't want to get covered in snow. They might go like under a tree or something, and then when the sun comes back out, they would like walk back out to be in the sun. And then of course we'll have plants that just don't give a fuck. Oh, dig under the dirt. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna put DGAF. That's short for don't give a fuck. There will be some plants that are just like, whatever, man, snow on me, I'll shake it off. Oh my god, climbing up a tree is so funny. Like, imagine being the player and you're like, you leave town and it's like sunrise. And like as the map is filled up with more and more light, you can tell like, oh, there's some weird shit on the trees. Like, oh, it's like a bunch of Bulbasaurs and Oddishes, and they're all like climbing down. Yeah, traveling out of reach for sure. Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. Climb a tree. Dig underground. Dude, hell yeah, Dirglover. This is good shit. Okay. And like these are important to keep in mind because like maybe the first area I design, we'll go with the easy thing. We'll have caves and we'll just tell the plant Pokemon, yeah, just go inside a cave at night. But then you know, if I have an inclination, maybe we'll do a different area where Pokemon climb trees. Maybe a mix of both. And I think once I get the code for the habit, I think I'll be able to transfer that to a different Pokemon. And it's just about making sure that it understands like the priority of what it needs to do. Like at nighttime, like I said before, this always it supersedes the need for food because just safety is more important. Maybe just float in the air. Oh my God. That's a hilarious idea too. Now, that would work in a way, but then I can also imagine like at night, like if there was like a water Pokemon that could just do like water gun and like burst the bubble. Like a Feraligatr just like comes onto land and goes over to a bunch of like floating, like Skiploom. Skiploom would be a good Pokemon to just sleep floating in the air because it's like lightweight and floats around anyway. It's like a weird little like dandelion bloom that just floats on the wind. Something like that. Oh no, that's Jumpluff, isn't it? Well, Skiploom's part of the thing. I don't know. Anyway, you could imagine a light Pokemon floating inside a little gas bubble for protection at night. But then like a Feraligatr could come and just like shoot them down with a water gun. They may just disapparate. Well, like they just disappear. Actually, okay, hold on. That's a good... I don't know about plant Pokemon just disappearing, but like a psychic type. That would be cool. Like an Abra that just like teleports to the fucking Shadow Realm to sleep and then comes back to do whatever it needs to do. That's a cool idea. I'm going to put it over here. Sure, we'll say Spirit World. Shadow Realm is a funny meme. Okay. So oh my God, that's so many good ideas for just weird. I just want to surprise people. I fucking love playing games with pixel art and just seeing silly fucking shit happen is so good. It's so fucking good. And when you can combine that, at least in my mind, when you can combine that with things that someone would see and then immediately be like, oh yeah, sure, like that's what would happen. That's how that creature would work. Why didn't I expect that? Maybe not a great example, but it was like in the Pokemon world, when you find out if Charmander's tail goes out, he dies. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about, oh no, it's like his life force. No, Charmander, get out of the rain. You know, stuff like that. They might need an anchor to return though. Ooh. So you could see a tail peeking from the Shadow Realm. Oh my God, okay, that's adorable. But out in the big bad world of wild animals, I don't know if that would fly. It would be very cute though if like if you saw like a mom Kadabra with a baby Abra and like the sun sets and the Kadabra mom like teleports away and then the Abra teleports, but it's bad at teleporting, so like its tail is sticking out, and then like the Kadabra mom just like pulls the baby all the way in, and so then its tail like just like disappears into the portal. Oh my God. That's a fucking hilarious idea. All right, that's going in the notes. You mean that there might be a crystal or a shape or a shadow still present? That is actually a cool idea too. So I think that's a good idea because then the player could see where they are if they wanted to hunt one. Especially if I if I go down the route of having a Pokemon that's like Abra, that's hard to capture, it would be nice to be able to see where they are at night. So you could kind of just like wait. You could just like find one and be like, okay, shoot, I'm just going to like camp here, pass the clock ahead until daylight, and then wait for the Abra to come out and then try to battle them. Cool. Okay, cool idea. That'll definitely be something we add in near the end. I want everyone to have like default kind of boring functionality, and then going in and adding like little unique ones for each different creature if possible. Oh god, producer Pokemon culture with shamanic religion who fuses with producers. Oh no, because they're the closest to the spirit world. Oh no. Oh no. The fusing with Pokemon, well, in this case, they're symbiotes, but we're just going to call them Pokemon because people who are watching this, if somebody drops in and is like, what is this person doing? They're making a game? What game? If they hear me talking about things, we'll just refer to them as Pokemon. Oh, no, it's fine. That was actually, that's like a more fleshed out idea. You know what? Dirk Lover, this game is going to end up being like 50% your ideas, and I'm totally fine with that. One of the ideas I had for like what an evil person, what an antagonist would do, what a villain would do in this universe is like fusing themselves with Pokemon. We were playing Infinite Fusion. I was playing Infinite Fusion recently, and one of the like Giovanni is fusing Pokemon with each other. He tries to do the like triple. He tries to fuse Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos. But then I was thinking like, but dude, Giovanni, what if you tried to fuse them to you? Like, what if you became the fucking crazy fusion freak? So yeah, that's a cool idea to have like a weird culture that does it, rather than just like some crazy some scientist who's like off his rocker, or a mafioso like Giovanni who's hiring a bunch of criminals to do that stuff. It's interesting to think about like a more, I don't know, like a long tradition of that kind of thing is an interesting idea. And that tradition might not even be that might not even be like evil. Maybe there's like some kind of benefit. Because like a part of the like idea behind the world that I'm trying to create is this idea that in nature, things that decide to work together always do better. And that is like primarily the thing behind humanity succeeding, is that we are willing to cooperate on a scale that no other animal is willing to cooperate. Initially, that may not have been true, but at this point, like no animal can hope to cooperate on as many levels as a planet full of humans, for better or for worse. But extending that idea toward other animals, not just the humans, but like if humans could collaborate with all the animals around them, what would a society look like? And like Pokemon gets so close, like Machoke's being like doing construction, that cool, the like, I think was it Pokemon Generations? There's like an anime, a bunch of shorts they made, and like the SWAT team raids Giovanni's lair, his gym. They raid his gym, and like the SWAT team has like Arcanines and like other Pokemon like blowing holes in walls and stuff. Like, oh, that shit's so good. Oh my god. So anyway, Dirk Lover, you stop feeling bad. Don't apologize. This shit's cool. This shit's fucking cool. This is what we're here for. All right. So we have a bunch of cool ideas for nests, and I think that kind of extends to the herbivores. The only thing I for sure want to add is that they have Yeah, that they have like burrows, I think would be a good term for it. And like what about making new ones? Do like maybe ooh, how deep do I go with the simulation? Like do I have off screen, behind the scenes, do we like have like baby rattatas who are born? Like you have a mom rattata and a dad rattata who meet each other, and then they go back to the same nest and they make babies, and then those babies grow up and then they need their own burrow. And you have a burrow in a tree. I don't know if it would be called a burrow at that point. But animals do totally nest in trees, so that's a good thing to add. Maybe like holes in trees. Because I know some animals make holes in trees and then they'll like use the nest and then they'll leave that hole, and then other animals will use the hole for their own nest. Depends on if I want to make it make-believe or simulation. Yeah, it's like I want it to be simulated as much as possible, but then I can't just simulate everything because it's going to take too long and I would need like 50 people to like actually do it right. It's like I want just enough. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to cut corners. I'm going to cut corners wherever I can because it's like that thing, verisimilitude, right? I don't want it to be real. I just want it to kind of like just for a moment make you feel like it could be. The first time you're playing through this world, I want you to be like, "Oh my god, what? Like what did I saw the little rattata come out of the nest and he's got like 3 little rattatas behind him. What the fuck?" And then if they had been watching earlier, they would have like seen 2 rattatas. They would have seen one rattata that lives in a den by himself, and then one day he goes and plays with a different rattata, and then they both go back to that same den, and now they both live in that den. And then like a while later, the 2 big rattatas come out, and there's a bunch of little rattatas with them. Oh my god, I want that so bad. Stardew Valley has a step counter for randomization. That's really cool. It's a good It's a good idea. I think I've been thinking about that already to kind of try and figure out like what are good like values to pull to like kind of seed randomness. And that's a good idea, a step counter. And that's fun for speedrunners because then they can figure out it's not actually random. Most of us plebs are just playing the game thinking things are random, but the crazy speedrunners figure out like this thing happens if you've taken an even number of steps, or this thing happens after you've taken so many steps. So we're going to just run in the corner when we have spare time to up the step counter. Like fun shit like that. So yeah, we're going to cut corners where we can. Are there any other cool kinds of nests? I guess like mice can climb trees. Would they do any mammals build little like things like bird nests? I don't know, like what other kinds of nests are there? Oh god, how would I even, what the fuck would I even search for? Strange nests that animals make. All right, cool. We got, what are some unusual animal nests? Quora. Okay, well, let's zoom in here. Just go away. I don't want my Google account connected to you. So bowerbirds are cool. They make a crazy structure. That's not really what I'm after, though. I don't want... Like, that's too complicated. I just want things I might not have thought of. Group nesting, where some of the group are on watch. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, I feel like you could kind of lump that in with like a burrow or like a den. But yeah, maybe even not even necessarily underground. It could just be like a little rocky, like a spot on a beach that has a bunch of like big rocks might make a nice little sheltered zone to nest in. Okay. Shared nest, rocky area. Okay, let's go back to reading these. Wasp nests are interesting to think about. Yeah, where do bugs fit into all of this? Because some bugs are definitely detritivores. What do you consider a bee? A bee flies around and it collects pollen. Does that make it an herbivore? Like, I guess technically, right? Like, bugs may lay eggs into living things. Ugh. Don't remind me. That shit's so creepy. And of course, Paris is a great example of that strange situation. I wonder what that feels like, to have a bug take over your mind. It'd be nice if they made it feel good. I kind of doubt the bug cares to make it feel good for you, but damn. And then there are some like hornets that inject their larvae into like caterpillars, and then the larvae like chew their way out. Oh, it's so brutal. That's the shit we don't want in my world. My world is like, it's like they work together. They're no parasites, none of that bullshit. Parasites get kicked out. Everybody helps everybody. Like there's an episode of Futurama where Fry eats a sandwich that is from a gross gas station and it has like worms, but then the worms make him like smart. Why? I don't know, because I want it to be like focused on like these creatures are called symbiotes because they benefit each other. Their whole purpose is that they like work together to benefit each other. And more lore, more high-level plot stuff is that as the story progresses, there's like a race of sentient machines that sees them the way that sees the environment that the symbiotes have been created into, and the machines are like trying to find their best chance for survival. And they're like, oh, that's fucking smart. They made all of nature work together. So we could have something like that's kind of parasitic, but it helps. Like what if Paris, the Pokemon, and Parasect, like what if the bug didn't just take over and like rot the Parasect's mind? Because by the time it's a Parasect, it's more like parasite than it actually is whatever the hell a Paris is. Like a Paris looks like a little crawdad kind of creature. Like what if they could fuse together and be better than they were? So like it could still be a bug lays an egg inside of a Paris, but the Paris is cool with it. The Paris is like, yeah, I need that to survive. Let's be stronger together. Yeah. So we do need to think about like insect. So let's think about that. Let's go away, Firefox. So let's go, okay, like sheltered rocky areas. So the other thing would be like bees nests, hives, like wasp hive. That's a good, actually no, just wasp nest. Let's go like bee/wasp nests. They're both very different in design, but are important to think about. Yeah. And then I don't know if we actually need to worry about the like eggs, bugs laying eggs. If we do want to make a parasitic situation, we'll some rock types may lay eggs in acid pools. That's a cool idea. Okay. That's a great angle to think about. What the fuck is a Geodude as far as this goes? Is a Geodude an herbivore? What the fuck does Geodude do? He's got a mouth. He eats something. He lives in a cave, so he doesn't do photosynthesis. Does he just eat rocks? Once we decide what Geodude is, then we can put the cool acid pool nest situation in. He's an ever-living rock dude, but where does he get his energy? Does he just like absorb heat? Is he like the life that lives in those like geothermal vents? He reintegrates parts he left. What? But then like, but where does the energy come from? Like, what would that mean? Like he lives near like lava and he sticks some rocks next to the lava so they don't melt, but they get nice and hot. And then he comes back and he swaps out some of his body for the hot rocks and he absorbs that energy. From imagination, you haven't designed that, dude. Yeah. I wasn't like actually asking you for an answer. It's kind of like I'm asking the universe for an answer. Like, how would Geodude get its fucking sustenance? I guess it could just eat rocks. That would be a thing to add. So we'll consider him... Huh. Do we consider him a producer? Because an herbivore is specifically like you're eating plants. So if let's say he eats rocks. Let's just say that's what Geodude does. He is a rock. You are what you eat. He strolls deep into some caves. He finds some sweet, nutritious lava rock to eat. I guess that makes him a producer? So let's put his cool nest thing over here, but then also add... I guess that sort of goes with collecting nutrients from the ground, but this is very specific. Eating rocks? He compresses sand rock into granite. Does that get him energy, though? That would be interesting. Actually, that would be very funny to see, like if a Geodude didn't have access to nice magma rock, like, you would, like, see him, like, squishing a bunch of rocks together, squishing sand rock together into granite, and then eating it. Like, it's not good enough in its loose form. I need to fucking compress it so that I can eat it. Oh, the sandstone could have organic remains. Ooh. Dude. That's cool. That's the shit you want to read in a Pokedex entry. Not the fucking dumb shit like, oh, the Cubone has a skull on its head and that skull is from the mom. And then you actually think about that and you're like, well, wait, every Cubone needs a mom and a dad. And that means it takes two parents. So they at least, the Cubones will die out unless the mom and the dad have two babies or more. So then some Cubone parents are having 3 babies, but there's only one mom skull. makes no sense. But that shit, like being like how a Geodude eats fucking rocks with organic matter remains in it, like that's fucking cool. But that would make him group 4. Oh, good point. Good point. All right. Okay. Yeah. Shoot. Yeah. All right. And so then I guess we'll put his nest over here. We'll come back and update this. Rock type nest in acid pool or other inhospitable environment. That is a really cool extension that I hadn't really thought about, that because these creatures have like magical abilities at their command. They would, like a rock type that would be highly resistant to environmental damage could put their nest at just a place that's very inhospitable, maybe even like surrounded by magma or something. Ooh. Oh yeah, no, Dirglover, I totally agree. You're completely correct. If we're saying that like that's where our rock type is getting their nutrients from, absolutely, they're like part of the breakdown process. That's very cool. All right. And then yeah, if you can't protect your eggs, you lay a ton. Or lay false eggs to be eaten. That's also cool. Ooh. Okay. Let's make a note of that, because that might be like an extra thing. And that might be something that would be like it's like an extra thing that might really not be like worth the time to do, but it would be cool if you as the trainer, like, I don't know, maybe the false eggs are like good nutrients, you know? Or maybe you want your eggs to be eaten like plants do with seeds. Oh, that's in it. So I think that's a cool idea for the like kind of like parasite situation we were talking about. Like what if Paris chose to be infected? Like what if there was a point in every Paris's life where they're like, okay, I need to be infected by that parasite so that I can like grow stronger, maybe so that I can digest food now that I'm no longer a baby. I need to like have a different gut biome going on, and the only way to achieve that is with the aid of this parasite. So then like the Parises go to the parasite eggs and they choose one. They find one that they're like, yeah, this guy's the one. And then they eat it. And then the parasite is like hatches inside of them and knows what to do, because nature is weird and somehow makes all sorts of strange stuff like that work out. And yeah, I guess you could argue that they are like an amalgamation or a fusion. If we had other kinds of times that fusion occurs, we could have the entry about the Paris type creature being like, oh, they're like the first example. So the parasite may not live without the amalgamated form. Yeah, so that's why it would be a little bit different, right? Because previously we had talked about the fusion being a temporary thing. And in this case, maybe this could be like the rare example of a permanent one. Because, I mean, and I guess you could even think of like human beings or really any other animal we're not just one organism, right? Like there's so many fucking bacteria that live inside me and you and everybody. Like we're actually just like this like giant walking colony of a bunch of other things. But I think in the Paris's case, it would be essentially permanent. That would actually be really interesting if if you had like an evolution line, like Paris is not infected, and then Parasect is infected, and then maybe like a final one that like a split off where Parasect has a third form that is infected and a third form that is no longer infected. It would be interesting. Yeah, Slowpoke is an interesting example. Slowpoke is such a cool design of a Pokemon. I don't like the way that, I swear there's a Pokedex entry that says that like a Cloyster bites a Slowbro. No, Slowpoke. A Cloyster bites a Slowpoke on the tail, and then that becomes a Slowbro. But the tail shell that a Slowbro has doesn't look anything like a Cloyster. So I was just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Maybe I'm wrong in remembering that, but so many of the little details of Pokemon make me mad because they could have just wrote some different words and it would have been fine. It would have been cool even. But yeah, that's an interesting thing to note, that is like a semi-permanent situation. Ooh. Okay, so let's keep those in mind. Because eventually we're gonna have to go through the notes on my phone. I've got like 25 ideas at this point of different like silly pun names for Pokemon and like what they would be. Like I really want to make a dragon Pokemon that's like grass type, that like instead of scales it has like oh my god, it has plants on its body, but they're like succulents, because succulents have kind of like a hard outer shell. Yeah, I have a bunch of ideas like that, but then it's like, one, coming up with a cool name, two, the hardest part, getting an evolution line where the names are all like cute and fun. You have to pass the PC to your father or he'll throw the damn screen from the window. Okay, Dirk Lover, you gotta do what you gotta do. Have a nice evening, you too, dude. Thank you so much for the help. You are, at this point, more helpful than I have been for my own project today. I feel like you're safe. I hope so. I hope that was just a joke. If not, there's not much I can do.
You can do it!
Thank you. All right. Well, without Dirk Lover, I think we're going to be more... We'll be more productive in getting these things done, but we won't get as many cool ideas along the way. So I feel like that's a net loss, but that's okay. Okay, so let's go back to the nests real quick. Firefox, what have you done? It's because I minimized you. You're mad I minimized you. There you go. Now we're back. Okay. What else could be cool? Oh, hey, enormous communal nests. You wouldn't be a good project manager? Yeah. You're a good, yeah, you are a good, you're like a great like brainstormer idea generator for sure. And that has value. That absolutely is valuable. Okay. So communal nests, definitely something to consider. I wrote shared nests, great. We have more weird wasp stuff, hornets. Paper-like nests by chewing wood and mixing it with saliva. That's very cool. What do Adelaide penguins do? They build nests using pebbles. That's interesting. Hey. Haven't had a latte for weeks and Mojito is getting her little cat mouth all up in it. It's not enough to sniff it. She's got to like shove her nose and mouth against the lid. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, girl. All right. So, okay, we're going to add rock nests. Let's go pebble. Pebble nests. That's a good way to describe it. That really hammers home that they're tiny. Hanging nests. Very cool. They build hanging nests using plant fibers and vines. They can hang down several feet from tree branches. This is the kind of thing I want to avoid, though, because like making making some art for pebble nests is not that hard. I could easily just adjust some art that we already have. That's not that hard. But this kind of shit, like, you're gonna have to do some unique art to make it like legible, to make the player able to understand like what the hell this even is. No. Cool idea though. It would be so cool to play a game like the like Pokemon Legends, the like Arceus game, where you're like running around in 3D and slightly more realistic Pokemon environments and see like cool hanging nests. Like, I don't know, you like throw a rock to piss them off and get them out to come fight you. That'd be cool. What's next? A mound nest. Ground-dwelling birds construct large nesting mounds using soil, leaves, and debris. Okay, I mean, that would be kind of, that would just be, it would look similar to like a burrow entrance. Probably bigger. I don't know. Yeah. A saliva nest. That's a weird fucking thing. Very cool. Kitchlid. Kitchlid fish pit nests. Some kitchlid fish create pit nests in the sand or gravel. Right, I think I know what this is. Let's make sure. Kitchlid is a crazy word. Yeah, these dudes. Okay, so that's not anything cool or unique. Well, okay, it is. That's rude. It's not like, it's not an idea I want to run with. Solitary bee nests in hollow stems? Some solitary bees construct nests in hollow plant stems. They lay eggs and provide provisions for their larvae within these small tube-like structures. Oh. Huh. Okay. Okay, that's an interesting idea. Like, you could, this wouldn't be something to draw. This wouldn't be an art asset to make, but it would be something to keep in mind. Like, if the player cut down a bunch of, like, large grass plants, they might, like, get some bee larvae. All right, cool. That's cool with me. Let's paint where you at. It's, dang it. All right, fine. We'll just organize these after. Like plant stalk nests? Plant stem. It was stem. All right. Cool. Giraffe weevil? Leaf nests. What the fuck does a giraffe weevil look like? Please tell me it has the neck of a giraffe. It does. All right, you're a freak, but that's cool. Holy shit. You're a fucking thing? Holy shit. Oh my god. What the fuck? Okay, cool. Now to the thing that's actually relevant. Female giraffe weevils in Madagascar roll and fold leaves to create protective nests for their young. These nests resemble rolled cigars and are suspended from a tree. Okay, well now I need to Google that. No, I don't want a fucking blurb. Show me a picture of it. Hell yeah, dude. Oh my god. No. No way. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll believe that one. The other one just looked like it was just like sitting. That looks like someone made that. This shit looks like it's still attached to a plant. Oh my god, what a fucking thing. Okay, that's a very cool thing that I don't think we have the capacity to make. Holy shit. Or even the need to. The payoff would be far too minimal. Damn. Ooh, what is the biggest animal nest? No! This shit. Are you at least 13 years or older? Dang, there used to be a way to get around this by adding, like, you could add, like, question mark, share equals 1 or something. Oh my god, it still works. Holy shit. I needed to read some core thing, and it was before the Gmail integration. And I looked up if there was a way to read it without making a username, because I don't want to fucking core a username. And someone was like, yeah, you just add that. That's such a weird thing to remember. Ah, okay. Oh, and it has no answer. Okay. Well, this is some other related thing. There's some nest type called a dray, which is just a pile of sticks. Okay. You know what? This is good. We'll pull out here. Let's add dray to the list because that's cool. Dray, pile of sticks. Let's go like sticks/fibers. All right. So this will be really nice to pull from. Because I can just, when I'm trying to add a symbiote to an area, I can just kind of think about what might be best for them. Okay. Nests for a carnivore. I think they're gonna kind of be the same things. But carnivores get big. So I'm gonna say like sea herbivore nests, but also cave dens. It's even like large burrows. Like there's a lot of like foxes live in like large burrows underground, which is still like directly described by herbivore stuff. But hey, GRT. What else? What else? Is that paint? It is paint, yeah. I'm just like brainstorming some ideas in paint. Let's specifically trying to figure out what kind of things I need to have in my game. I'm trying to like make a realistic environment, like a Pokemon game with a realistic environment. So like I want the Pokemon to have little like nests or dens, like places to go back to at night. Nope. Okay. How about like large carnivore nests? Animals that build big nests in trees. No, no. Thinking like animals like bears, a wolf, like big motherfucking animals. Where do they live? Just like caves? Caves and like burrows? Birds of prey are gonna live. Oh, cave walls is a cool place for a bird nest. Oh, can't come back. I didn't mean to hide you. Not even a cave, just like or rocks. Like birds on like islands and shit regularly have nests along rock walls because it's really hard for predators to get to them. God, that must suck to be a hunter, but to also still be prey to other animals. Okay, let's keep looking a little bit. Giant carnivorous mice threaten the world's greatest something. I gotta know. The world's greatest seabird colony. Oh, that sucks. You guys suck. Mice, fucking fuck off. Don't do that. Okay, a Factorio post about some creature called a biter. Damn, I need to play Factorio. Ideas for large carnivores. Game suggestion archive. Oh, for Ark. Or the survival game Ark. Okay, I think we might just be out of ideas. Giant ibis. What kind of a nest do you make? Okay, no cool pictures. All right. We'll check images, and then we'll be done. Yeah, like, okay, if you had a T-Rex, what would a T-Rex nest look like? Where? Let's do that. What did a T-Rex nest look like? What did T-Rex do? What did he do? Oh. Oh. It's for their subscribers. But you can get it free. Uh-huh. Fuck off. Just look at the preview picture. Okay, you don't even have a nest. Did T-Rex have a nest? No T-Rex eggs or nests have ever been found. Oh. Okay, well, that shut me up real quick. I guess we're done for now. Go back to this situation. Okay, and you know what? I think we need... Let's zoom out for a second. We need just like a nice thick line. That. Yeah, it's fine. This doesn't need to be perfect. We're gonna convert this all into what were you? What were you called? Miro. Put you into Miro, and then it'll look nice. Okay. So we have nest ideas. I think we need to do a little more for detritivores. Okay, so detritivore also includes like mushrooms. So like no nest? Like no nest is an option. So then let's say we do have like a Pokemon-like creature that's a mushroom. I'm sure there's already some kind of Pokemon mushroom creature other than Parasect. They might not have an actual den. Oh, they would still need a safe place to live. Because if you like a regular mushroom in real life, it just grows in a spot, and then it like produces spores, and then it can die. But if we wanted a mushroom creature that's going to live a long life, he would need somewhere safe to sleep. I mean, maybe they would just climb trees. I guess honestly, maybe they wouldn't need a safe place to sleep. If there is an argument that like the largest organism is a like huge interconnected web of, oh my god, I think it's called mycelium. Mushrooms and other fungi produce these like branched things, and it's like part of their bodies. A root-like structure of a fungus consisting of a massive branching thread-like hyphae. There was an autocomplete mycelium network. Oh. There's no good pictures. Anyway, there is like a huge mycelium network that connects like an entire forest. And it is like technically one large contiguous creature, for lack of a better term. So then you could almost conceptualize the mushrooms are just a part of that creature. And so that creature could be okay with the mushrooms like dying. Like you don't need a den to go back to, climb up a tree or get eaten. Like who cares? You're just like, you're only a small part of me. You're like the tail of the lizard that can get eaten. And the rest of the group can continue on. Okay. All right. Shoot. Okay. So I gotta pee. I'll be right back. And then we'll think a little bit more about this, but then we'll move on to the next part, which is going to be the activities that they need to do. We have the food they eat. We have where they're going to live, but then we need to have like what they're going to do. What are the animals in my Pokemon-like game gonna do? All right, be right back. We are back. Okay, so is there any other kind of nest? Ooh. Ooh. Classic. Who shows up when there's a dead body? Ants. So I've already like what is an ant hole except a specialized burrow? What? That's like a really easy asset to make. Like ant holes have a certain look. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there was already something in a Pokemon game that looked like an ant hole. Well, maybe not. The only ant Pokemon I can think of is Trapinch. And they kind of just like sit at the bottom of a circular pit and collect whatever falls in. Okay. Also, if we had ant holes, they would either need to be huge, because like how would you battle a single ant? Unless you battle like 1,000 ants. Like they form up into a giant mech ant. That'd be pretty sweet. Actually, that's a very fun idea. Okay, anything else? What other animals come and like clean up? Like all kinds of little like beetles and earwigs and other little bugs. I don't know if they're actually all detritivores, but like, God, yeah. Are there any unique kinds of bug nests? I guess like worms just just live in the ground. Just their nest could just be underground. You don't even really need an entrance per se. They just live in the ground. Okay. Worth noting, worth thinking about. Because again, the idea is going to be I'm going to like when I'm populating a map, going to be like, okay, who's going to be here? We're going to have Mareeps and Rattatas and Pidgeys and whatever else. We'll just get like a list. And then, okay, that means because there's Rattatas, we need burrows. Because there's Mareeps, we need grass for them to eat. But what would a Mareep's nest look like? Maybe they don't have an underground nest. They just have like a little like rocky shelter area that they go to. Yeah, they would be the sheltered rocky area people. So that I'll need to pull like for each Pokemon, it'll be like we need a food situation, gotta handle their food situation, handle their nesting situation. Next, I think we'll do like So we want like player interaction. Like what do they do when they like how do they interact with the player? We want same species interaction. Like what do they do with each other? Good example, like dogs, roughhouse, they play with each other. So do cats. I imagine mice do too. They probably have fun fake play fighting. But then also like some birds do like crazy silly looking like mating dances. So we might have that. Man, every time I press the mute button, I'm like so afraid it's not gonna work. It's never failed me. Just social anxiety things. Okay, so not only how do they interact with members of the same species, but how do they interact with themselves? You might see a bird like cleaning its feathers. You might see, oh my God, there are a bunch of little animals, like chinchillas, give themselves like dust baths. The way they get like dirt and other crap that they don't want on themselves is they go and roll around in like really dry, fine dirt. Oh my God, I have a throat tickle that will not go away. I'm fucking dying. And then we also have other species interactions. And then, because like okay, so we know part of the way to conceptualize this is that really this is all a list of interactions, but the first two rows we just did are what they're going to interact with, not necessarily how, because I think the how is obvious. For food, how do you interact with food? You get it and you eat it. For nesting, how do you interact with nesting? You go there when it's not your time to be active. So a rattata is going to go to its nest at night. It's going to go to its nest to have babies. It's going to go to its nest to rest if it gets into a fight, but it doesn't win. And if the weather's bad as well. Ooh, okay, you know what? Those are worth noting. Okay. Let's put that over here. So go to nest when weather is bad. Time of day changes. When the sim is weakened from a fight. Let's put bad in parentheses, because one symbiote's bad weather might be another symbiote's good weather. It just depends on what they're built for. Like a rattata's gonna maybe go inside during heavy rain, but like the worms are gonna come out. I guess like to reproduce. And for time of day changes, we'll put sleep, because everybody needs to sleep. So at night the rattatas go in and the pidgeys go in to their nests, but then the hoots are gonna come out. And what other kinds of like nocturnal hunters? Cats? You might just have cats playing around, hunting, doing whatever they're doing at night. I guess really cats, it's like sunrise, sunset is where they would do most of their hunting, I suppose. If they were, what was the term? It's like crepuscular is the term for cats that, or any animal whose primary hours of activity are around sunrise and sunset. Yeah, I guess to be a nocturnal hunter, you have to have nocturnal prey. Like an owl would hunt like nocturnal mice and bats and shit. Seems like a bad idea. Seems like a bad idea to be a mouse out at night. Maybe it's a worse idea to be a mouse out in the day. All right. Okay. And then like reproducing, they'll need to go in their nest when it's like time to reproduce. And so maybe that would mean during certain times you would see lots of rattata out. And then for a period you'd only see males. For a short period, like it's like half the number of rattata are out and they're all males, because the females are all like hanging out back in their dens waiting for the male rattatas to bring them snacks so they can stay safe and gestate, grow a baby. I don't know. Hey, but what else? Why else might you go back to your den? I feel like that's all of them. Go back to your den if the weather's bad, because you want to get out of the weather. You go back to your den when it's time to sleep. You would go back to your den if you were hurt and needed to rest, which is kind of like sleeping, but not the same. And then you'd also go there to reproduce, which I guess let's add gestate, because really like we could just say that like, you know, this is family friendly. They just reproduce at night. They just when a mommy rattata and a daddy rattata love each other, they just boom, baby happens. But then, you know, you gotta grow that baby. Okay. And then We want them to seek food when they're hungry. Maybe even if they're bored. That's a funny idea. If like a Rattata has nobody to play with and has nothing else to do, maybe they'll just go eat food even if they're not hungry. Because since I want this to run like a simulation, I don't want the Rattata to ever just be like doing nothing. Actually, no, I mean, that could be cool. He could just like chill out and rest. All right. So like maybe we'll have some creatures that do that, but some animals will just like a cat. They'll just lay down and chill out when they're not hungry. So that, I mean, that seems relatively obvious for food, which is what I was initially saying, is that I'm not explaining the actions they would take, but just what specific things they're going to go for, because the action is simple. If you're hungry, go get food and eat it. But then I realized, like, actually the nest situation is relatively complicated. All right. Let's save this real quick as scribe 6. Okay. So now back to thinking about the other kinds of interactions. How is any animal in question, going to interact with the rest of the world? We have, I think, the most important things, which is they'll eat, they'll sleep in a safe place, they'll make babies in a safe place, and then all that's left is how they interact with all of the other creatures. Oh, I guess, okay, so here's something weird to think about. So I feel like we need like world or terrain interaction. Like how do they move in the world? Like certain creatures, like if there's a little, like a berm that the player can jump over one way, but they can't go up it the other direction. That might also be true for a small creature. They might be limited in movement in the same way as the player, or like a boulder or a bush might block the player's path, and it might block smaller animals, but like something like a Rapidash would be like, haha, like, no, I can go up that thing that you can't go up. I'm like twice as tall as you, and I'm like a fucking agile horse. Also, a Pidgey can just fly. Okay, so that's really important, because a big part of this is going to be telling animals not only need like a list of things they want to do at any given time, but they also need a navigation mesh that tells them how they can go about moving in the world to do those things. You wouldn't want a Rattata to be able to fly around like a Pidgey. That wouldn't make any fucking sense, although that would be cool. It would be cool. A little rat with wings would be pretty sweet. Okay. So maybe we do the world and terrain one next, because that's a bit more static. So far, all of these things could be 100% static. Like, it would be kind of lame to always have, like, no matter how many times you restart a new game, the Rattata nests are always in the same spot. But they could be. And it would still provide a semi-immersive, realistic experience. More realistic, maybe not actually realistic, but more realistic than the Pokemon world is these days. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to be unique for each different one. I guess in certain extents it is. So for producers, like some can climb walls, like a Bellsprout with its little like root feet. I bet a Bellsprout could climb walls. Some can climb walls. No, walls again. Walls, trees, rocks. Like if a Bellsprout was trying to avoid you, if it was running from you, it might be able to just climb over obstacles that you can't climb over. It might not be smart enough to prioritize that, but it might do it by chance. Ooh, yeah, that is another really important aspect to the simulation that I want to enact, which is not just the creatures in the world, but the opponents that you face, human opponents or other races. Their intelligence needs to absolutely dictate the way that they act. I really wish I could play a Pokemon game with trainers and sometimes feel like they really know what they're doing. Most of the time you feel like they have no idea what they're doing, or they kind of know. When you face like the Elite Four or like your rival, sometimes they like swap Pokemon out and you're like, oh yeah, that was a good move. I was about to just like wreck your Geodude with a water attack. Like you got that. Totally. Good job. But most of the time you fight a hiker and he's like, I got 4 Geodudes. Oopsie. Like that's so fucking dumb. God. If he wasn't aggressive, if you could talk to him and he'd be like, hey, we could Pokemon battle if you want. I just like my Geodudes, but I'll give you a fight. They like to fight. It'll be fun. Great. But like the hikers pick a fight with you, and then he's like, here we go. I'm gonna try to win with my 4 Geodudes. Like, shut the fuck up. Fucking like, god damn it, you're so dumb. You're so unbelievably dumb. Like, how do you even put pants on to come out of the door in the morning? I don't believe it. So anyway, intelligence needs to be important, and that might determine whether or not they intentionally climb over walls or rocks because they know that you can't. Damn, okay, that's an interesting point, and I'm going to make a note about this. An important aspect of intelligence is assessing what your opponent can do. So, and I've kind of already thought about this, but that is a nice succinct way to put it, that the most intelligent players that you will battle, like they'll fucking know everything you can do. Once they see you act, they'll be like, okay, you're a ranger and you're using like a Bulbasaur and a Charmander. That means you have access to these abilities because that's what they can learn. They can't learn these things, so I'm safe to do certain other things because I know you can't do these things, so I can get away with these strategies because you can't counter them, kind of a situation. Okay, so what other kind of terrain interactions would we have? They would definitely be able to destroy certain terrain. So like a bear might be able to like scratch trees. Logs might decompose or be broken. Like if you were chasing a Stantler, if a Stantler didn't want to fight you and he decided to just run because he's like hungry and doesn't feel like battling you and the sun's setting soon and he's like, I really need to eat, bro. Like he might just run from you and maybe he would trample through a log. Maybe you could use that as a strategy to get through a log you don't have a good enough axe to break yet. I don't know. What the hell else? Let's get some Pokemon screenshots. And let's think about what if we were in this world. What could we do? What could we do? What are with all these little... they're like custom overworld sprites, I see. Okay, so if there were a wild creature in this world, what could it do? As far as changing the environment. We already specifically have climbing things, destroying things. Maybe like digging holes and like revealing an item. Like an animal might dig a hole for food, but it might reveal some kind of like mineral or rare item that you might need. So then Oh my god, that sounds so cool to try and like manipulate wild creatures to like go dig up a bunch of stuff for you. Um okay. I mean, certainly they're going to eat things. Like you might even have a Geodude that eats the ore vein that you want to farm. And that's something they need to be able to actually do. They need to be able to destroy those things, and for the purpose of consuming them. And then they'll have a hidden behind the scenes, like a hunger gauge. And then if they've eaten enough, then they'll stop doing that. So maybe like you see a hungry Geodude coming and you stand around the better ores that you need, and you push him over to like the shitty copper ore or something. And he doesn't care. He's just like, I'm avoiding a fight. I don't want to fight with you. Fine. I'll go eat the copper. Oh my god, I just love the idea of that interactivity being a thing. What else? What else would creatures do? I guess if they're building nests, they might collect things. So they might not just eat things. They might collect things for their nest. That's an interesting thing. Especially if like you need tall grass to have random battles. Right, I still want to have random battles. I like the way that you can still be surprised in Pokemon, but I want to have kind of a mix. You can see creatures that are going around doing stuff, and you can like try to get them into a fight, or you can be walking in the grass and be like, oh shit, what the fuck, a Rattata right there. Oh damn, I surprised him, he surprised me. Oh, we're in a battle now. Dang, he's mad. He's mad I almost stepped on him. How else would they interact with the world specifically? Right. They might seek out water, both for drinking or bathing. That's a fucking water is an important part of being alive. Oh boy. Oh, this is a cute GIF. Fun. Okay, what else? What else are Pokemon gonna do out in the world? Specifically to or with the world. No other living things. We'll talk about how they'll interact with the players and with other Pokemon or other members of their species. Whoa. We made a classic episode from the anime in overworld style pixel art. Very cute. Damn, this is a pretty good like Misty and Brock and Ash. Damn. Their legs look a little small, but obviously shortcomings with the strange character proportions. Okay, so then maybe we look back at the other things we have written and think about what they might do. An important thing that animals do is leave their scent on things. I don't think I want to get into that though, but that would be very funny to be able to have like cats getting into like a territory war. Just like marking their territory. I guess dogs do it too. I'm sorry, this is a custom Pokemon overworld? This is the Link to the Past map. Redone in a very cute style. What do we got here? No, I can't really... This isn't really bringing any more ideas to mind about what creatures might do. A creature that lives in the water. Anything special they would do with the water? Not really. Not unless we really show like underwater, which at some point we might. We might add dive in, but that would be a late game kind of thing. Okay. So then something that I haven't really written about is something like beavers. The way that beavers affect their environment is that they they build structures. But I don't think that's going to be really important. That seems like if I create a Pokemon that would do that, I would be like, oh yeah, that'll be an important part of that Pokemon. Symbiote. Simbamon. Pokesim. Okay. So now really quick, let's look back at all of these other things. Like a producer is going to follow the sunlight over the day. And maybe to do that, it would do the thing, and the first thing on our list of world terrain interaction. It would climb walls and trees to like, maybe it's in a little valley that's now all shaded. So it's like, fuck that. I'm gonna climb out of here and get up the top of a hill to get more sun before the sun goes down. Is there anything else strange it might do? I feel like you would just move to get into the sun. Yeah. And collecting nutrients from the ground is interesting. So they're going to seek out I think this is an important way of conceptualizing this. They're going to seek out like specific ground types. And that kind of makes the previous note a little bit redundant, that they might seek out water for drinking or bathing. That is kind of covered in the fact that like conceptually, they're going to seek out specific types of ground. So I'm going to need to figure out some way to tell the simulation, to tell each individual Pokemon or symbiote, like, this ground is water, this ground is dirt. Because a producer looking for a place to stick its roots into the ground, it can't do that in stone, probably. They probably would prefer some like nice, and not just dirt, but like, some like dark, rich mud, nutrient heavy. Okay, so yeah, this does seem worthwhile to kind of go back through these and think about how each of these would work, how you would specifically interact with an environment. So as far as collecting food goes, I don't think you're not really going to do much. At the most, you're going to destroy something. Maybe you would eat a whole bush. If you're a giraffe, you're going to clean a tree off of all of its leaves. So you would kind of be changing the terrain. You'd be changing a tree to now being a bear tree. Can a tree be a bear? What's next? Carnivore hunts herbivores and producers. Okay, that's getting into the next section. Same with the detritivores. They're going to be consuming dead matter, but that's going to be... Well, I guess... That's a weird middle ground, because that's not how they interact with animals. That's how they interact with the things that the animals leave behind. That's fucking weird. Okay. All right, what about nesting? How would you interact with the world when you're nesting? We have the idea that they're going to collect things. This kind of gets into the next section too. They might fight over good nest area with other members of the same species. Other species. They might fight over like sweet nesting grounds. All right. Okay. Now, are any of these things would they need to interact with the world in a specific way? It would be kind of cute if they could like push boulders in front of a cave. Like a bear hibernates for winter and he pushes a bunch of boulders in front of a cave. And so like you're walking by a cave that you're used to being open and you notice there's a bunch of boulders in front of it. And if you smash through the rocks, you find a sleeping bear. And oh boy, if you wake him up, he's fucking pissed. You're ready to fight a bear that's like 3 times your level and you're dead. But that seems a bit too specific. It's a fun idea though. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of like in the world things that they would do as far as this goes. This is just like a place they would go to. And it is a fun idea to imagine them making those places, but I don't think we would show a whole lot of that. Like if a bird was building a nest, you would just see a Pidgey like flying down, kind of interacting with some grass, flying over to a tree. And he would keep going to the same tree, different pieces of grass, and kind of like peck around for some stuff and then fly back to the same tree over and over and over and over. You're not going to see a whole lot. And that still just goes back to the simple act of collecting things. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be good enough. Okay, and that's interesting because this kind of generally applies to all of them. This isn't something that needs to be unique to each one. So for that reason, maybe we don't put it in these columns in this section. Do any of these next things I want to work on, are any of them very specifically in need of being divided up? Shit, also, stream time almost over. Oh, and a note, I usually play Temetsi, but I have too much shit to do. So Temetsi will wait till next week. Also, I would like to savor the last few levels of Temetsi. We're at the point where we're just gonna like dip into a bonus level, and if it's way too hard, like most of them are, we just step out, go to the next one. And I would like to enjoy that, so a little break is not so bad. Okay. Let's un-ADHD, focus on the matter at hand. Player interaction. Would there be a big difference in how these 4 different kinds of creatures would interact with the player? I guess so. Not I guess so, like definitely. A carnivore is gonna like hunt you. Maybe. Okay, so then let's see, let me like redo this. So we're just gonna put food up here because that's what this whole section is. I'll just leave it. And then this entire section is nest and rest. Now that looks very, very crowded and bad, but I want it to be consistent because of the fact that I'm putting player interaction over here as like a little subheading. Yeah, I hate that. Fucking hate that, bro. Oh well. Fix it later. Okay, so how is a producer going to interact with you? Like, I guess they'll like largely ignore you? Would they think you're a threat? So maybe if they assess themselves as stronger than you, they would ignore you. Sorry about the squeaky mic arm. Mojito really did not like it. Okay, so Because they have no reason to fight you. So, so like most animals, they would probably avoid you. So they will like, I guess like they will avoid you unless they aren't afraid. So if they're not afraid of you for whatever reason, some animals don't get preyed upon. Like capybaras. They're just like not afraid of humans. Very chill creatures. Nothing eats them, so they have no reason to be afraid of anything. I mean, I'm sure they're afraid of some things, but they're not afraid of being preyed upon, so they'll just fucking hang out. Okay. And then, so I think that's going to be essentially the same for an herbivore as well. But what about like their nests? Okay. So if you wander into an herbivore nest, like, or yeah, they'll become aggressive to be protective of their young, right? Like either if you get in their nest zone or if you get in between like a mom Tauros and a baby Tauros, like she's probably gonna fuck you up. Okay. Who's over there? And then a carnivore. They're probably gonna fucking. They will probably avoid you. Yeah, God, I guess it's like the same thing. It's just like the same. They're gonna avoid you unless they aren't afraid of you. They also might hunt you. Shoot, they'll also be aggressive to protect young. And they might just hunt you. They might just hunt your dumbass. So I guess that's an interesting thing to think about, that like, if you're a low enough level and you go into an area that has like a high level, like lion kind of creature, like a houndoom or something, like some like big bad carnivorous dog, and that dog's hungry, they might just eat you. I think if they had a better shot at some other meal, maybe they wouldn't hunt you because you're an unknown. But if they clock you as being probably weaker than them, they will probably go after you. And I definitely like the idea of like that thing I got at earlier where there's a person in Oblivion who was like hungry but wouldn't like get a job or pay for food. They would just steal it from people, and then people would eventually get pissed at them and like fight with them. And so that character almost always ended up dead. I like the idea of like some houndooms are gonna just roll the dice. They're just gonna fucking come for you. And ooh, maybe that is reflected in their stats too. Like their psychology would reflect their stats. Like an aggressive houndoom that has made it to adulthood is like probably has pretty good stats as far as aggression goes. Maybe not good defense stats, but good offense stats. And then on the other side, a timid houndoom has survived because they're quite either like fast or they have high defense, a lot of HP. Things pick fights with them, but they survive. Might be the idea. Okay. And how would detritivores act? I feel like they're just going to avoid you. And maybe they'd get aggressive to protect their young. Okay, so this all may not have really needed to be a column. They are different, but they're quite similar. All right. So I think next time we'll finish this, and then in between streams, I'm gonna look at all of this stuff and try to get assets in. I'm gonna like come up with a list of Pokemon I want in the like northeast section of the island that we're working on map wise, and then we'll maybe make a chart like this that has each Pokemon, and then what is it gonna do for food? What is it gonna do for its nest? After we're done with this chart, so then I can figure out what objects I need to bring into the game, and then we can spawn the player over there, and then slowly try to figure out like how do you make a navigation mesh to tell the Pokemon what to do? How do you make a list of priorities for them to have? So yeah, I think that's the short list of where we're going with things. At some point I'll come up with some nice shit like I want animated water. But all of that stuff is like, to me, it's very secondary. I need the game to convey an idea. So it needs to have a look, it needs to have art for the purpose of conveying an idea, but it doesn't need to be like nice yet. Not yet. Yeah, so shit, I think that's it for today. Unfortunately have to end early. I would like to play some Temetsi, but I'm okay. I'm okay with going another week. I got shit to do. Thanks for hanging out, dudes. Dirk Lover, if you watched the VODs, sorry you had to bounce out early. I feel like you enjoy this too. Everybody who's still hanging out, have a nice day. Take it easy. And I'll be back tomorrow playing Elden Ring. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.